Hello. I wanted to review and show you the upgrade on the survival bush point. I did a video a while back on the bush point and told why I designed this knife. And I was talking to a company named Diving Sparrow Knife Works, and we came up with an idea and such, and he agreed to make these for me. And this one here is what I got in the mail today. I'm going to be doing a review on this, and I'll bring it up a little closer. Now, this paracord, I wrapped it this way here to give it a little bit more meat in your hand. I have a standard wrap as well that's really simple. But there it is right there. That's the survival bush point. This is made out of 1095 high carbon steel. And it's a great, this is going to make a great bushcraft knife, but it has a dual purpose. How I designed this is with this paracord handle, you're able to untie it. And such untying it, you have a solid piece of metal that you can haft into a shaft to make a spear. And that is why I designed this. You have your normal bushcraft small task knife, as well as you have a spear point. Now, the reason why I designed this knife is for the backpacker, the camper, hikers, whatever you do out in the woods where you may get lost and you only have a knife on you. If you carry this knife, you can make this into a spear for defense. So if you only have this in your hand and there's coyotes about and such, and you're nervous. I mean, anybody, lost in the woods, you're propped your back up against a tree and you're sitting there and you're hearing every sound and you're nervous. You only have this in your hand, and you see a couple coyotes coming in, you're going to be very scared. Now, if you fashion this, take this paracord off, fashion this into a spear, then your chance is up, 80%. You have a lot longer reach. You can swing it like a club to hit an animal and drive it away from you. You have the butt. You basically have a staff and a spear with something that you can jab and slash with as well. So that was the purpose of this, that you have a formidable weapon of defense, as well as a good bushcraft knife. And that was the purpose of this knife. Now, we're going to find a staff I can make into a staff, and I'm going to show you how to construct a spear with this knife, with only this knife out here today. Stay tuned. Now that has just fallen down a while back, so it's not dead or anything else. So it took a little effort to break that off, but that'll make a good stick for batoning. So I also want to show you is that this sheath is the one that I made for my other bush point, and it's not the sheath that comes with this knife. I'm going to be selling this knife without a sheath as well. We're working on a Kydex sheath that will go with this as well for a little bit more money. So anyway, we need this first off, something to baton with. Now you don't have to go the way I just did. You don't have to break it off. You can find just a stick laying around and such. You can just do that. So I found one that looks pretty good for a spear. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut it down using this knife. Okay, I'm going to choose this one here as my spear shaft. And how I'm going to cut that off with this knife is I'm going to baton it off. So I'm going to move some of these around, put your knife against there, and just start smacking it in. thing here, I'll tell you, is not the best baton. Here we go. I'm going to start trimming these off now. This one here is going to be a little harder. Okay, I'm gonna make this so it's just a little over my, right around to over my eyes kind of thing. So we're gonna cut this off right here. Snap that off back here. Now when you're choosing this staff, you want to get something that's, you know, green, because you want it strong. As well, you want it out of a hardwood. I mean, you use what you got, but that's what you should do. These tougher parts like this here, you're going to have to work to get those off a little bit. I'll break it off. And then trim it up. But I made this only sharp on one end, that you can actually take and put your thumb up here for leverage. Now I'll cut this one off. Now this has come right out of the box. I haven't sharpened this at all. It's still cutting this pretty good. It's a knot that I'm cutting through right now. So, I'm going to trim this up a little bit. Like this. I'm going to somewhat round this off. Okay, now I'm going to, I'll move in here. I'm going to put a groove right in here. This here will catch the top of the paracord when I wrap it. So this is what I wanted. A good bushcraft knife, as well as a defensive weapon. So this here shows that, you know, it does the basic skills of a bushcraft knife. So we've got a groove all the way around. Now what I want to do, you can see that got a groove all the way around. What I want to do now is I'm going to split this down the center. Now if you have a saw, you could saw this down, saw down it, and make the groove for this, but I'm just going to split it down through. Starting to follow that knot, so I gotta come up some. There we go, I just split it down through. You want it the length of the blade and up a little bit like this here. So when you put this in, it's going to be up above here, these. And where this is split, it's going to try to split down through. You put extra cord below the split so it won't allow it to come down through. I'm going to untie this real quick. Just take this knot out here. Take this knot out. And this one here. Some of these might tighten up a little bit, but you'll be able to get them out. And now we'll take this out and unwrap this. There we go. Now you just unwrap it. Okay, now you have it unwrapped. Take it and put it down in. Now, remember, that's your sharp end. Grab it this way and work it down in there. Make sure you do not cut yourself with this blade as you're putting it down in there. Looks like I have to baton it a little bit further. This is a full 1/8 inch steel, so provides a good thick knife. So we're going to put this back in here, stick it back in the ground, and baton it down a little further. There we go. Now I'll try this again. Okay, what you want to get that down far enough that this here is below that. So I'm going to open this up a little bit. It's getting caught up on something right there. But just spread it open. There we go. Then you'll be all set. Now, I'm going to move this up. Just this one spot that is getting hung up on. And I want it just below, right like that. I want it just below, just like that there. That gives me something to bite on right here. You can trim this off so you have more blade sticking out. Cut that down. I'm going to do that a little bit right now. We'll trim that right off so it won't fetch up, but it will go right through like an arrow shaft. Okay, we'll try this again. I'll bring it up here. There we go. Now let's try this. I'll put this in the middle. Turn it over. Okay, I'm going to put this between my legs so I can hold it. And I'm going to tie this. Now, I'm going to go around again. And then come down a little bit lower. Sure you can see that? Now I came around here, right here, and then wrapped it around and then tied it tight on there, like this. Now, I'm gonna start wrapping this. Just keep going tight. You just want to keep it tight. You're just going to keep going right down around. That's why I left lots of paracord. So you can tighten this all the way down through. Now you have to remember, we got to tie down here. So I'm just going to bring this down here and make sure I have enough to keep this from splitting. Well, there we go. Now, you see, I've got, you know, a nice weapon. You know, you can swing this way, you can grab it basically. Look at the reach on this thing here. That's, I'm 6'1". I stand up and that just goes over my head. I've got about a 6'3", you know, spear. Now I'm going to jab it in this tree. I jabbed that in through that tree. That didn't move a bit. I'll turn you around. Okay, that just went in there. A nice little jab, you know, that far. A good inch. But it did not move. And a tree is a lot harder than a coyote or through the ribs. If that hits a bone, that's going to slide past the bone and right in through the rib cage. You've got enough here to do major damage to an animal if this goes through right up to here. You've got enough beef there, and plus this is sharp. You've got enough that you can swing and slash. So, you know, I would feel a lot more comfortable with something like this in my hand if lost in the woods than just that little knife. So that basically concludes the survival bush point. And I'll have the specs on this, you know, to come. I'll be doing more videos on this. I just wanted to show you the basics of this blade and what its intended purpose was. And this is what the intended purpose was. You see that you can carve with it, you can baton with it, you can cut grooves, you know. You can do basically what you need with a small bushcraft knife. And as well, you have the cordage and the blade tip to make a good defense spear, or even hunting spear if you prefer. So everyone, take care. See you on YouTube, and I will be taking orders for this knife. Bye for now.